bit of a foggy morning here at Valley View Flower Farm, and while everybody's ready to hang up their gardening tool belt, now is the time to get some seeds started. There is a lot of seeds that like to be sown in these conditions in this time of year. So today I'm going to show you some of my favourite flowers that I sow right now in winter that thrive in cool soil. So everyone talks about plants you can grow in autumn that like warm soil. There's plenty of plants though, perfect for the garden or the cut flower garden, that thrive in cool soil that you can be starting now in seed trays just like this. And I'll take you through my top 5. This is the end of my strawflower patch. I'm in the process now of cutting them back and removing them from the field, making space for new plants come spring. Strawflowers are absolutely fantastic, and you can succession sow strawflowers throughout autumn and winter. Strawflowers will germinate in cool soil, and you can even collect your own seed. To tell whether the seed's going to be viable for sowing, the plant will want to give it up to you. They'll want to give you the seeds ready to sow. I like to sow strawflowers directly into big trays like this, surface sow, because strawflowers need light for germination. Pat them down so they have good soil contact, and then water them until the seedlings come up. They are slow to grow during this time of year, and I'll show you some seedlings I've already raised. Now, one word of warning with strawflowers: they can look a little bit sulky over winter. They will sustain some frost damage, but be assured they will come back strong in spring. Whilst I treat my strawflowers as an annual, these plants here, echinacea or coneflower, are a beautiful perennial you can add to your garden or cutting patch. Seed can be easily collected off your own plants and sown in open trays similar to that of strawflowers. Growing seedlings this time of year can be a lesson in patience. These are some strawflowers I raised a few months ago, and these are echinacea that I started probably 6 months ago. So patience is key. However, with a little patience, you can add quite a number of beautiful plants to your garden. Here are some echinacea that I planted in, I think, around the end of spring, and they're just starting to establish themselves nicely now. I purchased these echinacea, and we're going to have all the birds come out now. But they're going to seed. Now, I'm not sure whether they're sterile or whether I can give them a go and plant them in the garden. So I'm going to collect some of the seed and see how I get on. That's the perfect thing about gardening. It's always about experimenting. This is fama scabiosa. It's a perennial scabiosa, and a lot of flower farmers know about this beautiful perennial. But as a gardener, until I started growing cut flowers, I didn't know anything about this particular variety. It's very easy to grow from seed, and once you have a few plants, like everything else I've shown you today, you can grow your own from seed. The seed is easy to sow, again, on the surface of your potting mix. One of the things I like most about fama scabiosa, this is a part of my garden and it's looking a little ordinary at the moment. This is a landscaped area because I haven't cut my perennials back yet. But this part of the garden gets little to no irrigation, and we have a fama white scabiosa here, happy as Larry, with no additional watering. And that's what I like about some of these perennial varieties, is that they're much hardier than the annual varieties. And last but not at all least are poppies. So these poppies have survived from spring now into winter, happily flowering continuously throughout all those seasons. And the only reason these rather scrappy looking poppies are left is that I haven't cleaned this bed out yet, so they've been allowed to stay, and I've been collecting seed. They are absolutely beautiful and so easy to grow if you grow them under the right conditions. So here in my greenhouse are my Italian poppies, and these were a little expensive to purchase. So for me, I won't run the risk of just scattering them over the ground surface. I'll raise them in cell trays and then plant them out later in the garden. You just have to be careful to minimise root disturbance. Now, one of the best things about poppies is that once you've got them, you've always got them. Just let them go to seed and they will self-sow in your garden. But if you're after something that's a little bit more permanent, these are oriental poppies, and these are a perennial. These are some that I've divided from an existing clump in my garden, and these will keep coming up without any additional seed sowing year after year. They have a taproot which allows them to establish, and they're fairly drought hardy. I've got them in my garden which receives very little irrigation over summer. So try oriental poppies, and what I like most about oriental poppies is the fact that they come in such beautiful colours, salmons and whites, and they're big and blousy, much bigger than an Icelandic poppy. Absolutely beautiful, so give those a go. So everyone's familiar with foxgloves, and these are my apricot foxgloves, and I have Pam's Choice. Now, these are your traditional foxglove that you grow as a biennial. So I sow these late summer in order to have them in the ground, preferably before now, and ready for spring. But there's so many other types of foxgloves that shouldn't be discounted, and foxgloves that can be sown now and that will perennialise in your garden. So in this part of my garden, which doesn't receive any additional irrigation, we have some perennial foxgloves. They don't look like foxgloves, but I can assure you these are, and I'll put the name up because I'm not 100% sure that I've got it correct, but I call them the tall rusty chocolate foxgloves, and they'll put up massive spires at the end of spring and in early summer. Hidden in this part of my garden and not getting near enough attention as it deserves is really another favourite of mine, the Canary Island foxglove, and I'll take you in for a better look. I love these because they are so hardy, and this one's reaching for the light. I really need to dig up this plant and place it somewhere else as it's getting overgrown in this section of the garden. One of the best things about growing foxgloves is whether you grow the biennial types or even the Camelot series, which are an annual variety, you can have flowers and succession plant all year round. But at this time of year, I focus on the perennial varieties, and at the moment I have sown some beautiful lemon, some chocolate foxgloves, a whole array of perennial foxgloves that I can start now and plant out come spring. So if you're interested in the seeds I'm sowing, a couple of videos back I did a bit of a report of sowing seeds now at this time of year. So have a look at that and it'll give you some inspiration. So even though it feels like the garden is slowing down in the winter period, it's still a really good time to have a look at your garden and see where there's some gaps. And then have a look at some of the seeds you can sow now to fill in those gaps come spring. And whilst I appreciate in Australia we don't get as cold as other parts of the world, we're an equivalent here of a zone 8A, 8B, we can still plant, we can get out in the garden, the ground doesn't freeze like it does elsewhere. So it really is a great time. So don't hang up your gardening tool belt. Get out there, sow some seeds and get into your garden. Well, thank you for watching, I appreciate it. Bye for now.